Hello, beautiful people. I was just cleaning a pipe and I got a piece of cotton stuck. So, what a great time to show you how I clean pipes and how you would mitigate this. We'll start with how do I get this thing out. Take a screw, thread it into the piece of cotton. Try not to scratch your pipe. That was stupid. I knew I shouldn't have used that big of a cotton swab. And give it a tug. Nasty. What am I doing? I'm cleaning a pipe. Here at my desk, I've got a whole bunch of my cleaning tools, which look like this, and these, and these. Why do you clean a pipe? You clean a pipe because they get nasty. Pipes that are used and abused can sour. Where does that sourness come from? Moisture. To all of you faithful viewers that hate the word moist, sorry, but that's what it is. You may have heard that you should never pull the stem out of a pipe while the pipe is hot. That's honestly good advice. But that doesn't mean that if you pull it apart every once in a while it's still warm, that it's going to be to the detriment of your pipe. So what do I do? When I'm done smoking a pipe, I tap the dottle out. Then I blow air through the back end. How long has that taken so far? 3 seconds? And that's already getting gunk out that would hold moisture. Then I'm typically going to let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes. I do spend a pretty good amount of time at the desk. Sometimes I'll have a couple of them lined up that haven't been swabbed out yet. On the daily or multiple times a day, these will get swabbed out. All I'm doing is taking a wooden stemmed cotton swab that's roughly the size of the tobacco chamber. I put it in. This one might be a little tight. And I twist it around. Look at that. It's come in different sizes. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to set it right down on the tobacco bowl I have sitting here because I'm going to reuse this. Sometimes I can get 5 or 10 good uses out of one of those suckers. Pull the stem out. The mortise in the shank of the stummel is going to be different sizes depending on the pipe that you have. Again, these things come in different sizes. Push it in, twist it, pull it out. These skinnier ones also work really good to break open blockages that might be in the airline or the air flue in the shank. That wooden stem actually will snag moisture that might be sitting in there too. The stems themselves, I run a pipe cleaner through it. I don't run a fancy pipe cleaner, just a pipe cleaner. And those get funky a little bit faster than the cotton swabs. Say you have a stem that is compatible with a 9mm filter, you're going to have a lot bigger opening in the end of the tenon. Again, take one of these suckers, push it in, twist it around, takes all the moisture out. A lot better than just the pipe cleaner alone. If the pipe was particularly wet from, wet or hot smoking, or if I had a tobacco that was particularly wet when I was smoking it and, it builds up a lot of moisture in there, I might actually just set this down apart, let it sit there for a few hours, and then I'll put it back together and hang it up. Or I'll just put it back together and hang it up. I realize most people that have several pipes have them in a rack so that they sit like this. Mine hang like this in one of my leather pipe hangers. I've got 10 pipes hanging here at the station at any given time. And that's it. Keep it dry, and you will very rarely have to give a deep cleaning. Although a deep cleaning every once in a while is still a good idea. For really deep cleaning where you're trying to get all the tar, grime, cake out of the pipe, you can use something like DentaClean. You can use something like Captain Morgan. You can use whatever your preference. But I'll tell you right now, I very, very rarely do that with my pipes because I keep them dry, which means they don't sour. My method also keeps the level of cake on the inside of the bowl very minimal, and that's actually by design. So I have zero ghosting problems. I typically keep the pipes that I use for aromatics separate from the pipes that I use for English blends, but when I do swap back and forth, I have no trouble with ghosting whatsoever because I keep the cake minimal and because I keep them dry. But just like everything else with pipe smoking, opinions vary. If you're interested in a custom handcrafted pipe, visit us online at CatholicPipeCompany.com.